Hey everyone, welcome back to High Heels to Happy Feels. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Natalie. And Steph, I need to ask you something before we even get into talking about the astrology because it's been bothering me for like 2 weeks.
Okay, go.
Well, so when did summer stop feeling like summer?
Oh boy. Great. This
Right.
is this is how we're starting. All right. Mhm.
Yeah, like well, because I caught myself the other day looking at my calendar, actually dreading the next 6 weeks. And I had this moment of, wait, this is supposed to be the good season. This is the one we wait for all year. And it just felt all of a sudden like a project, like a logistics problem with a tan.
Oh my God, a logistics problem with a
Yeah.
tan. That's awesome. Totally using
Yeah.
that again. Uh-huh.
Right? Well, yeah. So, but I think a lot of people are probably feeling the same way, not really walking around mourning this peace that we're experiencing for the summer, because that would sound ungrateful. But like, who complains about summer? You've got time off or you've got vacations planned or whatever, supposedly freedom, and yet like it's just not
There, right?
right.
Yeah. And that's today.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk a lot about why summer doesn't feel like freedom anymore for a lot of people. It's not everybody, but for a lot of people, what actually happened to it. And um this is the part I'm kind of excited about. There's some genuinely wild astrology that's in this coming week and ahead, but we're only going to talk about this coming week. That's basically asking us the same question on a much, much bigger scale. Like the entire country is it's gonna have its own version of this.
Yeah, I want to hear that, but hang on for just a second. So I just have to share this story before we go into that. So my
Yeah.
friend Priya, she's got 3 kids, works full time, texted me like last Sunday and said, I used to count down to summer, Natalie. Now I open my calendar in May and just feel like my chest getting tight. And she has her stuff in order. And it's just she has that chaos because everything is scheduled. It's not that, she couldn't quite remember the last time that summer felt like something that was unfolding rather than something that she is trying to control and run.
That's an interesting distinction. Like the happening versus running through it, right?
Right. Because when we were kids, summer just arrived. Like nobody ever asked us to plan it. School ended, and suddenly there's this enormous, shapeless amount of time, and your only job was to be in that. And when Priya and I were talking about it, it's like now it's all about the logistics. And I remember when the kids were younger, the camp registration, the deadlines that open in February, you're not going to make the list. You're not going to be, if the fear of missing out and coordinating who's going to be where on which week and how many days can you actually take off and how much have you, like, it's just a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah,
And
and there's a huge financial layer in all of that too, right?
absolutely huge one. She was talking about camp alone this summer is going to cost more than a month of daycare.
Oh my
Our
God.
oldest was 2. So even the free time has a price tag attached to it now. It's not free. It's just differently structured labor with sunscreen.
Differently structured with it. You got some good ones today. Those are great. But oh my God. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
I'm sorry. I look at people that have kids and like yourself and I look at like Shane's daughters and so on and ah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
it
But yeah,
is. It is. And I'm fired up about it because I don't think this is just a parenting thing either. Like you were recalling everybody that that has to work through those schedules with kids, but I really think it's everyone.
I agree.
So let's sit in this for a minute because I think there are some specific moments that we can talk about where people might recognize it. So I'm going to start off first. I'm going to give you a few minutes
Okay.
to think about your what you
Yeah,
want to bring up.
please. Thanks.
So the first one I want to mention is you get an actual free weekend, like no plans, nothing scheduled, and instead of the relief, you feel almost anxious, like you're wasting it. Like you should be doing something with it, going somewhere, documenting it. That blank, open feeling that used to feel like freedom now kind of feels like it's a test you're going to fail.
Yeah. Oh my God. Right.
Yeah.
And okay, so I have one. And I think of it as kind of, it's almost doom scrolling in my mind. I mean, they almost go together, right?
Yeah.
Because you're scroll, 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 you see everybody else's trip. They went to the Mediterranean, it was very fancy. They had the lake house, the best summer yet, right? The whole carousel of all these things. And some really small, ungenerous part of you
Yeah. Ah.
doesn't even think, oh, that's nice for him. It thinks, okay, so what am I doing wrong? Even when
Mm.
we know better, even when we know that it's curated. I mean, it is. It's just curated. It's social media. It still lands somewhere.
Yep.
Mhm.
Totally. Totally. Another one, and I think this is a big one too. Like, yeah, absolutely. Is you remember exactly what summer used to feel like that specific anticipation when we were younger, like in late May, the smell of the pool, the feeling of a day with absolutely nothing required of you, and you go looking for that feeling now on purpose, and it just isn't there. And instead of thinking the season has changed, you think maybe I've broken something in myself.
And that third one gets me because, I'm down visiting you.
Hmm.
You do happen to have a pool. And so I get excited every time. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this when I'm down there, and I'm going to spend my mornings doing Tai Chi by the pool and work,
Right.
right? And so that third one just really gets me because it's not actually about the summer itself. It's like it's a grief for a version of us that we just don't have anymore. We don't, and it's not that it's not in us. It's not that that's not there. It's just no one tells you that you're kind of mourning. It's almost the loss of a childhood, for lack of a better way to put it. But
Right.
you feel like you're doing summer wrong.
Right. And the recognition, like I want people to walk away with this. Nothing is broke. Like Stephanie just said, we haven't reset our expectations to the difference that now happens as we grow. The thing that generated that feeling, somebody else holding the time for you, no decisions required. That thing is genuinely gone. And it's not a you problem.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to widen this out a little bit because it kind of is a you problem too, folks. I mean,
Okay,
because it's
well,
because it's on
here we
us.
go.
It is. It's on us a little bit, but there's a specific version of this happening at a national level this week too. And
Hmm.
I think it's an almost perfect mirror. So this coming Saturday, so here in the United States is July 4th, right? It's our 250th birthday. It's the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It's
Which
huge.
on paper should just feel like something, right? Like a milestone birthday. It's supposed to just land on you, be a celebration.
Absolutely. It's supposed to be giant. And instead, what I keep noticing, the news, the group chats, all, different news organizations that I read, podcasts, even just scrolling. The undertone is the exhaustion around this. I mean, it's not excitement, it's pure exhaustion.
I have noticed that too. It's strange because you'd think a 250th anniversary would just be kind of a unifying by default, like big number, big milestone. But every conversation I've seen about it this week has had this edge to it. Like people are bracing instead of celebrating.
Oh my God, bracing is the right word
Mhm.
because there's a competing task, right? There's forces trying to run this celebration. And I mean, this is beyond the fact that even as of yesterday morning, which is a week and a day beforehand, people are traveling, which even
Right.
newscasters are like,
Crazy.
airports or what? What's going on? It's almost like, okay, we got to hurry up and get there because we don't know what's going to happen in the next week, right? Because
Right.
this right now, so I'm sorry, here comes the allergies. It's always when we podcast. I'm just like, hi, throat cleaners.
Ah,
But all these competing forces that are trying to run this too, which is a joke. There's a nonpartisan commission that's been in place since 2016. They had it, right? Nonpartisan, get this thing planned. It's all for everybody. And then you got the separate, more politically branded effort just cruising alongside of it, trying to just F it all up. So now you get because they're like, oh, I want to tell the story. No, it's my story. It's not. And it's, they're like, and the who's funding it, it's who's staging it, right? And
Yeah,
Sure.
so even something everyone theoretically agrees on, like nobody's arguing that the country shouldn't have a birthday, it still
Yeah,
turns into fight over the optics of it.
exactly. That's right. And
Right.
it's why so many people are quietly checking out this week instead of fired up. I think honestly, people are traveling just because they're like, I don't want to be anywhere where I have to watch any part of this. But I keep seeing the same sentiment. It's worded differently every time. I want to feel something about this, and I don't. I mean, you and I were just talking about this.
Yeah.
It was like it's the 4th of July. Even though it's the 250th, it's like I should care more than I do. And it's not apathy necessarily. It's just we have our feelings that are being hijacked, right? I mean, they're being
Mhm.
hijacked by these political things and this management type feel before we ever get to have that joy.
That tracks with what we hear from people about their own families too, honestly. Everyone's posting the barbecue photos, the fireworks, the flag emoji, but underneath it, there's like this separate, quieter conversation happening about whether anyone actually feels unified right now or whether everyone's just performing the holiday, because that's what we always do on July 4th.
Oh my God. And that just, I mean, even though we're
Mhm.
really talking about summer in a whole, performing the holiday is really the episode right there.
Yeah, it really is. The country can't just feel its own birthday. We can't just feel our own summer. Same exact pattern, completely different scale.
Yeah. And the part I find really interesting about all this, not a coincidence either, in my opinion, this is all happening in the same week where Mercury stations retrograde
Mm.
directly on top of the placements that define America's own astrological identity, which of course it would because it's a birthday, right? So the astrology is going to line up. The US has a well known cluster of planets in Cancer, what we call a stellium in astrology: Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. Cancer is home, it's memory, it's what you protect, it's a maternal feeling, it's mother. It makes sense that our country was born as the mother of nations, of everyone, right? All are welcome. So, right now, as the country is supposed to be having this big nostalgic look how far we've come moment, the planet of communication, Mercury, slows down, turns backward, right? Backward rhetorical, in retrograde, in the exact sign that defines who America is.
So that the timing isn't just poetic, it's literally the same energy we've been talking about all episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what's happening in Cancer this week?
Okay, good question. So Mercury stationing
Thanks.
retrograde, you're like, yay, Mercury stationing retrograde in Cancer. So right in that same zone. So right as the country is supposed to be having this nostalgic how far we've come, those old conversations, because we've got that feeling of going backward. So what retrograde does is it has you going back a few steps to look at what you haven't completed, right? Or what you need to go internal with. So the old conversations are resurfacing. Words won't land the way we want them to. And that is not going to be just a you thing this week. It's going to be baked into the actual moment for the next 3 weeks ahead.
Wow, okay. So that makes sense when you said it's not just a you thing. I don't, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. So, yeah, I, this
Yeah.
whole actual week, this moment. So let's just jump into the astrology. Let me see if I can keep this short though. I think because the headline matters more than the breakdown. And if you want the full breakdown, of course you can go to the Astrological Insights podcast for Immersive Spirit, and you'll have the full breakdown for the week ahead. So please, please just go there if you want everything pinpoint day by day. Um, or to our community because we've got all of our prompts and so on at immersive-spirit.com. We'll be happily help you out there. But this whole week is really going to pivot in its start around Monday, which is June 29th, because we have three big things happening at the same time. So we have the full moon in Capricorn, which is completion energy around structure, responsibility, what you've built. We have that Mercury stationing retrograde in Cancer, which turns communication inward, stirs up that old unfinished conversations, right? And then
Hmm.
Jupiter is moving into Leo for the first time in almost 13 years. And because of where it stations per time, right? And so it's shifting the whole emotional center of gravity from stay home, stay safe toward be seen, take up space.
Oh boy.
Oh,
So
oh
an
yeah.
ending, a pause, a beginning, all in the same day.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's just Monday, which is
Wow.
why the week starts by feel disorienting, even if you can't name why. So you might feel done with something while also itching to leap towards something bigger before you've actually finished what you're supposed to and close that out, right?
That's chaos.
It's chaos. It is. And then the rest of the week is smaller echoes of that same tension. Midweek brings a little bit of detachment versus desire pull because we're stepping back from what part of you wants to really actually lean in. And then the weekend, 4th of July itself, brings a really fast electric Mars Uranus combination, which some of me and my astrologer buddies are already talking about and looking at where our own transits are during that time because it's quick words, occasional sparks, especially like in group settings, like a holiday barbecue, for example.
Yeah, that I even asked you about that conjunction this week because
Hmm.
I keep hearing about it and you can almost feel the energy leading up to that. And
Yep.
our next
And
podcast will be out on that date, so that'll be interesting.
exactly. Exactly. And that Mars Uranus, it's just not random. I mean, that's the sky. And you and I'll talk more about it. But folks, if you have any of, because Mars and Uranus, the transiting planets, so the ones that are in the sky right now, and how those sit conjuncting means they're very, very close to each other. And right
Mhm.
now, I think they're at 29 and 5 degrees or something. I'd have to go look again, but they're going to be right next to each other. And so, if any of your natal planets are next to those, it's going to be very interesting to go and track some of that energy for yourself.
I think it's going to be intense, and I think a lot of folks should look into like where that's going to sit for them.
I agree.
It makes sense
I
for where we are now.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, if this is all like, what the heck? Number one, get the other podcast. But number two, sign up for a reading with me. Let's get into your chart because I'd love to show you where all this goes. But again, that full day by day breakdown is on the Astrological Insights podcast that I do.
Yeah, the
Okay.
exact times, all of that's up on the site for the week, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll have it on, of course, we do, our journal prompts on our community. So you've got that in our Stargazer space. And then we have some intuitive moments and some of those things coming, especially I think we're going to need some more love in this week ahead. But I got to
Right.
tell a
It
story on
sounds like
myself.
it.
I know.
Okay, go for it.
I know. So I think everybody and their brother knows I left corporate a couple of months ago. Almost 30 years in corporate overall in consulting or in a corporate atmosphere of some sort. And I said I was finally going to get some time back because I wasn't working two full-time jobs anymore. I'm just working one full-time job, right? With Immersive Spirit. That was part of the whole deal I made with myself is, all right, now I'll put my hours here, work these hours, and then I'm going to have a little more time with Shane, a little more time to walk, a little more downtime. And after, decades on other people's calendars, other people's deadlines, it sounded so nice to just have my own and have all that slower morning, all the time for myself, all that room to breathe.
And is that what's happening?
No, no, not yet. Anyway, I think I'm busier now than I ever was. Um, and it's busier in an interesting way because it's even harder to point to for me because nobody's making me do it. This is like there's no boss. I am the boss. You're the boss. I mean, we're bearing our own selves in this. And so uh, but I want it faster. I want it done faster. I could just do this. I can just do this. I can just and then I rabbit hole, rabbit hole, rabbit hole. And there's no now I don't have a ceiling on it. And honestly, the corporate structure, at least with that, I ended my day, right? I started it and I ended it. And now I just don't end. I it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. Yeah.
Yeah, corporate has a structure that protects you from yourself.
Kind of.
So that freedom hasn't shown up as freedom yet. It's showing up as more room that you're filling up.
Exactly. Exactly. I have more room. I have more space and I'm feeling every bit of it and I'm calling it passion, which it is. It's a huge passion that we're
Yeah.
gigantically passionate about immersive spirit and our members and our community and the success of our company. But damn, right? And so I can feel the old engine underneath. 30 years of that just chugging away, right? And I just left 2 months ago to breathe a little easier. And I'm I'm making it harder because I'm making it more difficult to question myself, which is an interesting thing because um it's not easier.
Hey there. Every week, Natalie and I talk about our soul pillars on our High Heels to Happy Feels episodes. I would highly encourage you head to immersivespirit.com/soul pillars and check out these free tools. There's different things you can download to learn more about interacting with your body, heart, mind, and spirit, and how easy it is to develop your intuition, even at a much higher level with these free tools. We've loved creating them. We really hope you'll take advantage of them. They are free. Immersivespirit.com/soul pillars. And now back to high heels to happy feels.
Well, yeah, you're feeling that is a really tough place to be. And it's kind of a trap when it's something you love. The overworking doesn't feel like overworking. It feels like devotion in a way.
It does. It totally does. It's total passion. I mean, just last week, I there's a day that I was like, okay, today I didn't even say it's a whole day off. I don't ever say I'm going to take a whole day off. I mean, I think today I slept till 8:30, and that's huge sleeping in for me anymore, of which is ridiculous on a weekend, right? You're just like, come on, man. Come on, man. So,
Right? Come on, man.
especially when you're up till 11. And so
Right.
it's those kind of things. It's but I had literally planned a time away and just to do a little studying because I've got a lot of studying and a lot of reading that I still want to get done and to
Hmm.
do and to continue to learn and grow. 20 minutes because something flashes in your mind and you're like, "Ooh, if I don't write this down, I'll forget." And so you grab a notebook and you just write this down. And you're like, "Ooh, but it leads to this." And the next thing you know, the laptop's open. Nobody asked me to do that. And I just couldn't sit in the chair without doing it. I couldn't just and I can sit, trust me, folks, I am one that can sit and binge watch all day long or used to be able to. And now I cannot. I've got to be working. I've got to be doing things. And I caught myself thinking I'm doing the exact same thing. This is what I was doing in the old role. I've changed my costume, but I
Yeah,
haven't
the
changed my
pattern.
pattern. Mm-mm.
Yep. So where are you with it right now? Because it sounds like you're still very much in it, not past this yet.
Oh God, I'm still completely in it. I don't have a tidy ending here, folks. What I do is I'm noticing it faster than I used to. I'm calling it out, right? And that's part of it. Hearing myself say, I just need a little more time, and actually stopping myself and saying, time for what exactly? Because I can't let one more thing steal my time, right? I have to consciously say, I'm taking time, like we did, took a pause yesterday, stepped away for an hour. That was
Right.
great. I was out of the house is great. Taking the time, like I did earlier this week, to go walk the fuzzy dogs. So, and get out and go do that. Um, because I'm still learning, honestly, whether I can or yeah, it's still a learning phase. It's all a learning phase, but I'm learning where I can choose differently and how how I'm going to keep filling that space instead of living in it. So I need to just get my choices clear.
Yeah. And that's a hard place to be, especially I imagine that you had such defined lines about what you thought this was going to look like.
Oh, I had huge
And I know
lines.
you kind of spoke to that, but already 2 months
Mhm.
in and you're but at least you're noticing it and you're identifying like steps that you're going to take to not let yourself drown, to let yourself experience why you retired from corporate.
Yeah, I'm working on
Yeah.
it. It's like I said, not tidy, but it's a learning progress. And I think that's where we are for this whole summer, right? It's a learning progress for everybody as we pull this back in. And then I think we should bring the soul pillars into it. But I think that it's just a reminder for all of us that life shifts and the summer joy is there. It may not look like the freewheeling 3 months, parents paid for everything else while you went to the beach and hung with your friends and didn't have a care in the world and, did your thing, slept all day, went out, whatever. those days are gone. It's called adulting, right?
Right?
We have to adult. We have to show up for our kids, our neighbors, our jobs, whatever it might be. You can't, unless you're a teacher, there is no 3 months off. And I know they stress for different
Yeah,
reasons.
they don't
So,
get 3 months off either. They're always in
no,
planning. And
right.
and I think the way like we really do need to grieve that because we're not getting it back. That you're never going to get that back.
No,
The absolute innocence
short of
of summer.
Powerball money, right? Where you can just be like, nope, I am fully
But
retired and
even
I'm going to
then,
go
you are
play.
fully responsible for what you have to do next. But okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
so
There's no
you're
one
never going
doing
to
it
get the
for you. Oh
innocence.
my God,
Yeah,
that's the innocence. It's the naivety, right?
right.
You know what I mean? We're being naive, where it's
Naivety.
like that, yeah, that it's just somebody else is taking care of it. You don't realize there's bills. You don't realize that your cell phone's paid for by somebody else. You don't realize that, meals just show up on the table and it's miraculous and da 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 da. All of those things are no longer part of the equation.
Well, right.
And
And it's so exciting to leave that because I'm an adult now and I'm going to take care of all this myself. And then you never look back and grieve like
what you
how much.
lost, that innocence, like you said. And I think the reason it pops up in summertime so much for us, the winter months, it's easy. We're hunkered down, or, if you're in a seasonal location like we both are, there's the grayer months, there's the snowy months, there's the rainy months, right? So when the
Right.
summer comes, it's like, must be outside.
Right.
Uh,
The smell of the pool and suntan lotion and
right. And the
where's the trip to Disney
flower,
World?
right. And let's go grow things. And are we going to the lake? And is somebody got a boat? Who's bringing a boat? Let's go. Somebody's got a boat we can
Yeah,
take there. Yeah,
life was
exactly.
easier.
Camping.
You mentioned the soul pillar. So I think this is going to be different. It's going to show up differently depending on where you're looking at it. So like if you're starting in the mind, this is the mental loop of treating rest as something you need to justify or earn. So like that thought of I should be doing something with this time, running constantly underneath the actual unstructured moment, like Stephanie had explained, like she keeps filling her space. So I think that's a lot in the mind that can be worked through in soul pillars.
I agree. And then the heart, it's emotionally, right? Because as Nat mentioned, it's that grief. I mean, it's kind of that loss of innocence that we talked about a little earlier. It's missing the feeling more than it's missing the season itself. And
Hmm.
underneath that, sometimes it gets we get resentment. I mean, we'd like to say jealousy, but we're resentment. And it's toward your own schedule, toward people in your own life, toward other people's curated, and they are curated, folks. I'm sorry. Those folks have just as much stuff going on. Don't worry about the Jones. Toward the version, because we're working towards that version that used to be able, right, to just exist in June. We used to be able to just go out in July without a plan.
Yeah.
And we need to just use the pillars to get into your heart and say, what's really bugging me? And what do I really love here? Do I really love that I don't have to report to anybody else? Do I really love that I don't have to, eat these? I mean, the meals that you got that were free may not have been your favorite. Hey, you get to cook whatever you want, right?
Right.
So it's
Right.
celebrating and what do I love? Yeah.
Grief and celebration, the stuff you got to let go. I
Yep.
think for the body pillar, it's kind of easy here because it is going to likely show up like you're pushing through exhaustion because you're supposed to be in the easy season. So feeling tired in July almost feels like you're doing it wrong. And the body doesn't actually get a break just because the calendar year says it's summer.
Yeah. And in
Yeah.
the spirit, I think this is where that real opening is, because the freedom is just not going to arrive in the old way, right? Handed
Right.
to you, unstructured, nothing required. And then spirit level freedom this season might actually mean something to closer what we talked about with the astrology. Choosing what to release on purpose, right? Being intentional, the way the full moon in Capricorn is going to ask us to do, for example. It's freedom as a decision and not just as a circumstance.
So with all of this, here's something kind of simple to sit with this week, especially with the full moon in Capricorn landing on Monday, like you just mentioned. Um, when in the last month did you feel something close to that old summer feeling? Even if it was just a few minutes, like what was actually happening in that moment. So
Mm.
sit back and think about that. And then maybe something like, what am I currently doing to earn rest that I don't actually need to earn? And I think that one's going to be harder to answer because, like, when it comes out of your mouth, you're like, I know I don't have to earn rest. I know that's not a thing. But when you actually step back, there is some thought in you that I need to get this one more, I need to finish vacuuming my upstairs before.
Absolutely. I think that's a powerful one because think about how many times folks you're like, I can get one more thing done before I go to bed.
Or
Just one more.
I can't go out with my friends until I write 3 more paragraphs.
Right. I mean, the ways we justify that, and it's a, yeah, I love that. Yeah. You had another one?
Yeah. So if you're going to add all of these kind of together, the third one I would think of is if you could protect one block of unstructured time this week with no plan, would you actually take it or would you fill it anyway?
That third
Or
one's a real test.
could you actually take it or would you fill it anyway?
I think that's a real test, right? Can you leave it blank space? And
Yeah.
not only leave it blank space on the calendar, but honor it and not do anything in that black space, that blank space, right?
Yep.
No documenting anything. There's no audience involved. It's not about anybody else.
Yeah, no performative nature, no drama,
Mm-mm.
no just sit with it.
Yeah, it's a real test.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Wow. Oh, so if summer doesn't feel like freedom right now, everybody, it is not a personal failure, right? And it's not nostalgia lying to you. Something did change, something real
Mhm.
changed. It's that version of freedom that you remember was never actually about the season itself. It was about not having to hold on to anything, no adulting. We didn't have to adult.
Right?
And it makes sense that you'd miss that the same way that it makes sense that an entire country just can't feel a 250th birthday without trying to micromanage it, fighting over it, and producing it.
Maybe the work this week, like for the country and for us individually, isn't finding that old feeling again. It's building a new version of freedom that can actually survive being an adult. Because, we're adulting. Like one built on protecting space and saying no instead of waiting for someone else to hand you time.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be lovely?
It would be. It
It would be
really
so
would be.
lovely. And I think with everybody here in this episode, you know what's coming this week. You know what you're feeling this week. You know where we are at the end of June and as we roll into July, and a little bit about the astrology and the feelings, right? Because we have them too. So, this whole episode, just remember and be kind to others and just be like, yep, they're feeling it. They're feeling it too. And as you find somebody else that that you find that this is okay, they're clearly dealing, share this episode. Be like, hey, have you listened to this? Because you're here. You're here.
Well,
And
and
follow us. Go ahead.
I think sorry, I don't mean to jump in, but like the astrology that's happening, we're all sharing that. So that's, I mean, that's a great thing to point out. But really, if you're feeling it this week, because I kind of am, like I had to go to Steph and say, we need to talk about what's going on with me and where my astrology is sitting and what we're approaching. Because I'm just telling you, it might be a good idea to schedule some time with Stephanie if you have the means to and give it a little look-see about your transits that are coming through this week because it's a powerful week. A lot is going on.
There is a lot going on. And it's
There is.
going on for everybody. And there's more to come. And there's some joyous month time as we get towards the end of July, right? And as we look into August, September, and beyond. But this week is going to be a zinger for those of us in the United States. It just is. Um, Everybody around the world, of course, will have the retrograde and all of that. But yeah, follow us on the socials. We'll try to, I'll continue to give the reels out there and the little nuggets. Natalie's, of course, got More Than You See that came out. Your latest episode was just this last week, or is it coming week?
Yeah, it's just this last week.
That's what I thought. So make sure you're checking that out. And she's got some great little magic moments and so on too that we've introduced that are awesome. 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 But
Moments for
please,
yourself to take these little timepieces,
yes,
right?
if you're going to scroll anyway, and that's how then fill it with something, fill it with space that's going to reward your soul. Fill
Yeah,
it with things that
that's
are
a good
going to
point.
make your heart happy. Fill it with things, don't doom scroll, turn it off. I'm so grateful for FIFA. I mean, we love soccer anyway, right? We love soccer. Having FIFA on right now is glorious. Glorious because we can turn off all the other crap. So happy.
For real.
Oh, but go get the full soul pillars. immersivespirit.com/soul pillars. Get them. They're free. They're free. See where you need to just settle down. And like we said, if you want to go deeper into this, our town square is free the first 30 days. After that, it's only $11 a month. You get 4 to 6 group workshops every month live. So we're doing these things live. We're getting into intuitive development. We're talking the lunar cycles, all of these different things. It's just such a
And the
huge
community. Like our community is so much fun. The questions that come in
community.
there and just the development of everything. And
Yes.
it's been really good.
Yes. Everyone brings something different. Everyone's got something to offer.
Yeah,
Truly. I
for
mean,
real.
everyone's got these abilities. So we'd love to see you there. And I think that's it for now. I've rambled long enough.
Yeah,
Got
just keep
anything else?
I don't know.
Okay. Awesome. Then till next week for At Least High Heels to Happy Feels, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Natalie.
And from Immersive Spirit, have an amazing week ahead. Just stay focused. Remember to just take care of yourself, take long, deep breaths. And to those in the United States, a very, very, very happy 250th 4th of July. We'll see you again next week.